listen, we're going to talk about the Bengals game and we're going to talk about the Bills game. And I honestly don't have a strong opinion as far as like betting wise in these games. It's hard to say how these teams are going to react to the last week. And we also need to know like what's the meaning of this game. So it's hard to bet right now, not knowing like how the NFL is deciding how to play out. Is it win percentage? Are they going to play later? The Bengals and Bills, like, I mean, I know Rec kind of hinted that it's going to be winning percentage, but either way, I mean, the Bengals are the far better team here, especially without Lamar, who probably I don't see any reason for Lamar to play this week. I do think Lamar will play in the playoffs and be ready to go, but it's just hard to know how the Bengals respond to this because they're a part of it, right? I mean, T. Higgins is a huge part of it, as I talked about earlier, and the mentality of being on the field and watching that happen. How do you rebound? The emotions with that on a short week. That was on Monday night, so you don't even have a full week to prepare. The Ravens, which is why I couldn't bet this game. Bengals are the better team. I think that's clear. I don't think anyone would dispute that. Whether they cover 7, I don't know. I mean, the Bengals, regardless, they moved it to a 1:00 Eastern game today, they announced. So that means they'll be playing at the same time at the Bills. So potentially, if they go the route of winning percentage, they could still get the 2nd seed, which could be meaningful in the sense that, in the next round, they'd have home field against maybe the Bills or whoever, which would be important. So I think the Bills win this game. I just don't know how to bet this game because I don't know how the Bengals are going to react to this. I don't think the Ravens have a ton to play for. They could potentially move up to 5, but that's only if the Chargers lose. So the Ravens are likely sitting at a 6th spot and sitting there regardless of this game.
Yeah, so I mean, you're kind of talking about some playoff scenarios here and teams in the mix. So New England, Miami, Pittsburgh, all still in the mix. But as far as what you just mentioned, the tiebreaker over Baltimore belongs to the Chargers. So they would just need to hope that the Chargers lose. So Chargers still have something to play for here if they want to stay in that.
Who do the Chargers play this week, Chris?
I mean, it's not important. They're playing a team that probably they probably won't win that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a tough opponent.
It is a tough opponent, and I just I don't know if they have what it takes. I'll be honest, I don't know.
But to be clear, who are they playing?
They play the Denver Broncos.
Anyways,
my Denver Broncos, baby, and we're playing spoiler here for the Chargers. So hey, Baltimore, play your butts off because there's a chance you'll be moving up.
I don't think they're playing their butts off, and I don't know how either team's going to react to this game, which makes this game almost unbettable.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think anyone should touch this game, along with the Bills game as well.
Yeah,
this game is so unbettable to me. I don't know how either team's going to react, quite frankly.
Yeah, Cincinnati, obviously, you mentioned it, is kind of in a weird spot coming off of that Buffalo Monday night, they postponement. What that looks like and how they come out. And then, again, there's just too many factors that go into this one that it's just, I don't know what to expect in this game. So, I mean, let's be real. The Cincinnati Bengals are the better team of these two, and they have by far a better roster than the Ravens. But, I mean, anything happens with these. I mean, these kind of matchups are typically closer than you would expect in these divisions. And I don't know. I feel like this is going to be maybe a closer game. If anything, maybe I take the Ravens on the spread +7. If you held a gun to my head and say, hey, what would you bet this game? I would probably take to Ravens +7, given the circumstances of everything happening with Cincinnati, and given the fact the Ravens have something to play for, and given the fact that this division plays close, tight games.
Football Wife says we will be fine. Don't know if T will play, which is interesting to me.
But understandable.
Yeah. I don't know where he's at mentally right now. So, but that is a loss in the same respect. So,
which lends itself more to that Ravens +7 potentially, but
I don't even think honestly, anyone who bets this game right now is
insane.
Just literally pulling a flyer on it.
Well,
you're just totally guessing with no knowledge of like how the teams are going to react and who's going to play.
You're flying by the seat of your pants if you love chaos. If you love betting this game, let's just put it that way. So
I do like some chaos.
If you love chaos, just throw some money on this one. But interesting matchup, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I think it'll be again a closer and better game than a lot of people might expect, but we'll see. Next up, we have Sunday Night Football, which we will be live for on this channel in the Action Lab on YouTube. Make sure you go to YouTube. We won't be live here on Twitch. We need all of you guys. Cuban, Football Wife, Luke, Milwaukee's Chairman, everybody that's in the chat. There's too many names. I need
everyone but Rec.
Everyone but Rec. I need all of you guys to go.
I'm kidding. You've been on your best behavior tonight.
Yeah, we need you guys to join us over on YouTube. Devil Doc too. All of.
That's why you shouldn't name names, Chris. There's too many. You're gonna leave someone out.
I know.
Everyone. Just say everyone.
Literally everybody in the chat. And
personally, we love you all. I promise.
We do love you all. Those are the last like 5 or 10 names that I saw in the chat.
I like you guys more than Chris. So
I mean,
that's unfair. I like Chris.
Wait. What?
I'm joking. What? I like you all. I like everybody.
Some more than others.
I thought that was for a band, Rex Scotty. Don't believe it. That's right. So Lions and Packers. So this one is going to be, I think, a lot of fun and all the implications in the world. This was flexed into Sunday Night Football, Scotty. And we have 2 teams that are playing for their lives. Right now, the Detroit Lions win the tiebreak over Green Bay based on a head-to-head win percentage.
No. What?
Right?
Well, over the Lions? Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, or yeah.
The Lions hold the tiebreaker. Yes.
But Green Bay could get in with a win here, and they are still alive and in the hunt.
Green Bay is the most probable. Green Bay is in with a win. There's 3 teams vying for the last spot. It's Green Bay, Detroit, and Seattle. And Green Bay with a win is in regardless.
Yep.
Seattle is in if Green Bay loses and they win. And then the Lions are in if Seattle loses and then they beat the Packers. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Which means the Packers are in a pretty good spot. They win and they're in. They're home.
Control your own destiny.
And quite frankly, a lot of people think because it's Sunday Night Football, the Lions, so Seattle needs to win, but they're playing the Rams at home. So a lot of people think that Seattle will win, and then this Lions game won't mean anything. And I vehemently disagree with that, Chris. And I think we both do, because we're both on the Lions here.
Stacka
for the raid.
Appreciate that, Stacka. Welcome in. I hope you are all having a fantastic evening. My name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your host for the Action Lab. Stacka, hope you had a great stream. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday night. And welcome to the Action Lab. Great to have you here. Hit that follow button if you have not already. Appreciate that.
Stacka was the one arguing the NCAA 90.
Yep. Stacker just blew a fuse on this NCAA expansion talk.
I've been there. I get so frustrated with how dumb people can be, Stacka.
But Packers favorite here in this one by 4.5, and over under set at 49. I think is the line still in this one 45 or 4.5? I feel like it was moving all over the place, but
I mean, I can look at it now. It is.
I think
No, it's 4.5,
49. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. So, I mean, again, Packers in control here. If you would have told me that Aaron Rodgers, after the start of the season that they had, would be sitting here with a chance for the playoffs, I'd be like, man, they better be doing some things, because right now it doesn't look like it, and that's early on in the season. Now, Aaron Rodgers is in the mix to be back into the playoffs if they get a win here. Milwaukee says 43-10. Pack. He's got it locked in. He's going big on this one, and Lions will be there to play even if the Seahawks win, says Chairman. And I agree with that. I mean, the Lions, if there's any team that shows up and will give it like that, they're a scary team, because you never know.
And Dan Campbell does not have the mentality that, like, even if they're out of the playoffs, if Seattle wins, he could just argue like, hey, let's ruin Green Bay season. Like, there's a lot of at stake. Like, Detroit players hate Green Bay. Your division rivals. I think they're going to play hard regardless of whether they have playoffs on the line or not. I agree with Chairman.
Yeah,
and I think you do too.
I mean,
we're both on the Lions here, I think.
Yep. And this is actually one of our bets of the week. And this is the reason why. I mean, do I think that the Green Bay Packers have a decent chance at winning this game? Sure. But Detroit here, I just like them keeping this one close. Dan Campbell is a master motivator. That's what he does. He gets teams fired up. And so, I think that this is a situation where he's going to have that team ready to play. Even if they can't make the playoffs, the Lions are finishing 9-8 would be a massive achievement after being one of the league's worst teams last few years. Like, I mean, this is a big step forward for them this year. I think they're fairly even in talent. I mean, I can see Detroit winning the trenches in this one, keeping this game close. But if the Seahawks win, you might be able to get a little bit of a price before kickoff that changes some of the line on this one a little bit. But, for like live betting purposes. But, I mean, either way, I think Detroit competes. And that's what they've been doing all season long. And I think that's why they keep this one close. Scotty, do you agree as well?
I agree. I'm on the Lions. I think the Lions will ball out regardless of whether I think this line speaks to like thinking the Lions will kind of fold a little bit if they don't have something to play for as far as the playoffs. If Seattle beats the Rams at home, which they likely do, and that's reflected in the line. I think the Lions will ball out here and they will give everything. Because why not? You're the Lions. You haven't. I mean, frankly, you're 8-8 right now, a 9-8 season. Build that momentum, take that into the offseason. I think that's important to Dan Campbell and the coaching staff. I think that's important to the players, and to also ruin the Packers' chances at making the playoffs. I think they're going to fight their lives off. Yeah. I think this is like a playoff game for the Lions, and it is for the Packers too. Are the Packers playing really well? I mean, ironically, the Packers were garbage for a lot of the season and playing well the last couple weeks. Can they keep that going? Maybe. And obviously no one wants to see them in the playoffs if you're a high seed playoff team because Aaron Rodgers and stuff. But yeah, I'm with you. Lions plus 4.5. I'm on it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. Casually, they don't have horns to break, unlike the Vikes. Yeah, there you go. Chairman, 9-8 with a Packers sweep would be pretty huge season. I agree. I think that there's a lot to take from this game, regardless of what happens in the other game.
He puts it even better. He's like, if Seattle loses, it's a chance to go to the playoffs. If Seattle wins, which means the Lions are eliminated from the playoffs, this is the Lions Super Bowl.
Well, because
and they will ball out. They will ball out.
It's not many times the Lions have swept the Green Bay Packers in the regular season.
And when have the Lions been on Sunday Night Football?
True. It doesn't happen.
They don't play on Sunday night.
That. Last time they were on Sunday. Give me a second.
There you go. All right. So keep an eye on this one. We will be again live for this on Sunday night on YouTube. So make sure you go check us out. I'm going to keep plugging it because I want all of you guys to be there. So make sure you guys, I mean, we have all of you guys here in the chat. We love that you guys are joining us on Twitch as we always do. But we're trying to get, some more community and trying to reel some more great people in to talk sports with us. And we want to make sure that you guys join us as well. So Milwaukee's going to be there. Let's go. At the game. He's going to be at the game. Well, I wish he was with us on YouTube.
You just reference YouTube and you're like, Milwaukee's going to be there, but he's actually going to be
yeah, he's going to be at the actual game. But if he was here, he would be on watching us on YouTube. So there you go. All right. There you go. Lions and Packers, week 18 coming up. Next up, Chiefs at Raiders. Chiefs at Raiders. Your boys right here, Scotty. Just they hooked up your boy right there in the picture, Andy Reid, with a cheeseburger for Christmas. They got him a nice cheeseburger, and he appreciated that. But Chiefs still have work to do at Las Vegas. Chiefs 9.5-point favorites here. Over under set to 52.5. Scotty, what do you got on this one for your boys?
I mean, that over under is a big number, right?
I mean, it seems up there.
52.5 is a lot for a game, especially when, hey, Jarrett Stidham played great last week against the Niners, who have a great defense. But we've seen results where Jarrett Stidham hasn't played so well in New England. So interesting to see. The Chiefs now have a ton to play for, right? They have a ton to play for because potentially a win and they're the 1 seed. We'll see. I mean, I don't know how that all takes place, but at this moment, it seems to me like the Chiefs win and they're the 1. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. I can't answer that. But so they have a ton to play for. The Raiders are just playing spoilers. I'm teasing this down, Chris. So I'm teasing this down. I actually had it at 8.5. It opened at 8.5. Yesterday it was at 8.5. I teased the Chiefs down to 2.5.
So you still get the field goal wins, yeah.
Field goal wins for me. I have the Chiefs minus 2.5, just winning by 3 or more, because it could be a close game. There's no doubt about that. And I teased that, I believe, with Cleveland, which we'll get into later. But I think I have Cleveland +9, which Rec isn't going to love. But at +9, he might agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that one here in a minute. But yeah, I think, and we're both on this game as our best bet of the week. So you teased it down. I
teased the Chiefs down, and you are on the other side.
I am on the other side. By the way, Sleeping Beauty, where's Dr. J with the boys and the Raiders? I don't know. I bring her in. Let's see. Give her a call. Shoot her a text. She's been MIA because of her beloved Raiders. I mean, tell her right now that I am on her Raiders, and I'm talking some good things about her Raiders.
I won't bring her in. I'm just kidding. You got a good track record.
Yeah, I got a good track record here. Rams. By the way, going back casually, Rams can do the Lions a favor this week. Come on, Chef Baker, work your magic.
Let's go.
But I am on the Raiders plus 9.5 in this one. I just think this spread is too big. You're looking at this Raiders team. They benched Derek Carr. They're packing in the season. They're benched Derek Carr. 500 yards later against the league's best defense. I mean, it looks like a team that there's competing at the end of the season for their first year head coach, which, obviously we all have our issues with McDaniels and if he's an actually good coach. I don't believe that, but this team is competing. The Raiders offense managed 7.6 yards per play against the 49ers. Jarrett Stidham, I still don't even really know how to pronounce it. Stidham.
You're right. You're right. It's Stidham.
Topped 10 yards per attempt in that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So I love what the Raiders are doing.
What about his other matchups?
Not too much. Not too much to. The Chiefs defense, on the other hand, gave up 24 points to a mediocre, if not awful, Denver Broncos attack. Their third time in 4 weeks giving up at least 24 points to a bad offense. I mean, they haven't been able to hold some of these bad offenses down. So they've been giving up some points.
They fumbled on special teams that allowed the Broncos to get a touchdown. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
And they nearly pulled up the upset in Kansas City with Kansas City earlier in the season, but I just don't see this being a blowout. I don't see this being a 9.5 point game. I think this is a close game. I think the Vegas Raiders will compete, keep this one close. I don't see them winning by double digits. I think this stays within range for Las Vegas. I think it's, Chiefs probably win this game. I agree with you. I just think 9.5 is a big number in, this situation. I think the Chiefs, if they get up in this one, they kind of, maybe depending on, what's happening around the league and everything else.
Well, it's on Saturday, Chris.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
It's the first game we're gonna see after the whole Monday
No, you're right.
Situation. So, I think the Chiefs win by 20 plus. 14 plus. More than 14.
You think so, huh? All right. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
But
I don't say that often.
Oh.
I tease them down because I know they're gonna win the game. But so I think they win by 14 plus.
You want to side bet the spread?
I'll side bet 9.5. I'll side bet 9.5.
All right, we'll figure out a side bet for 9.5 for that one. All right. Let us know what you guys think would be a good side bet between me and Scotty in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts. Breaking, Burrow said that some of the players don't want to play this Sunday, and they have been side discussions about not playing. Interesting.
They're gonna.
That would
listen. I understand the emotional aspect of it, and this is Burrow.
Burrow said this,
but they're gonna play. They're gonna play on Sunday. I mean, they have to. And do you think? I mean, listen. It's tragic, but do you think DeMar Hamlin would be like, hey, my best wishes if I was around right now would to be to you guys not play? I don't think that would be his wishes. Maybe there's a mentality there, a mental state, but I mean, at some point you have to play. The game goes on. It's just the reality. Maybe it's harsh. Maybe it's unfair, but that's the reality.
Yeah.
The game has to go on.
Yep.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. And that can seem insincere, and it can seem insensitive, and it can seem all those things, but I mean, a week later, the Chiefs played a game, I don't know how long ago, a decade ago, I would guess, where they had their linebacker murder his girlfriend and mother to his child, and then shoot himself in the parking lot of the Chiefs parking lot. And they played a game the next day.
It's yeah.
I'm just saying there's situations that aren't great. And that was a garbage football team for the Chiefs, so maybe it was less meaningful and it didn't matter. But I don't know. Burrow's saying that?
What?
Hamlin's gonna wake up and be
I would have to look at it, but Burrow saying that, I don't love Burrow saying that. They have to
link
play
in the
this
chat for you.
Hamlin's gonna wake up and be like, "What? You kept playing games? What the hell? What the fuck?" Just kidding. Says just chairman. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think he wouldn't want the whole world to stop, especially his. I think he would want things to keep rolling. Obviously, there's high aspirations, and it's a team game, and I think that there's going to be a lot of that So interesting. We'll see what that.
I'm reading the article, and Burrow was like, there were talks, but not really. But he's also like, the game must go. Like, that was kind of a nothing burger, actually. They know they have to play this week. Burrow knows, and the Bengals know they can't not play this week. They already didn't play last week. Unfortunately, that's just a reality of the job. Like, it sucks. Like, I don't know what to say, but a week later, you gotta play.
Diacola says, "I want Hamlin's first words to be, did we win?" I mean,
Also, on that topic, I keep forgetting the hockey player's name, but
Chris Pronger.
sometime in the last, no, not that one.
Oh,
There was some point time in the last decade. I don't even remember what team he played for, but he collapsed on the bench. He had a heart attack on the bench. So they took him to the hospital. The very first words when he woke up, "How much time is left in the first period?"
it's just like competitors, man.
About that, we stopped the game.
Competitors, they want their team to, compete. And that's the thing. When you're a part of a team sport, like football, like NBA, NHL, you name it, any team sport, that's all of it. It's like, you don't want your team to never compete, and like, there's
these players that are injured are not.
That's who.
They want their team to still compete. They don't want them to stop based on their behalf. No player, if they were able to choose, would decide that. They want the game to go on, the game they love. They want the players, their teammates to go on. Like, at some point, we have to, like, just realize, like, it sucked what happened. It was a freak accident. Hopefully he's gonna be okay, but eventually we gotta get back to business, right? And the NFL, I promise you, wants them. I saw reports, wants more than anything
Get to play.
for a football game to happen in the NFL, for people to talk about something else than what happened on the field on Monday night.
Yep.
So just looked up. The hockey player was Rich Peverly.
There you go.
Good old Rich.
But interesting headline though. But yeah, I think at some point we just got to start getting back into the swing of things. As again, it doesn't change the fact that we are all wanting Hamlin to be feeling better and to be that's all been said and everything. But at some point,
what if? If you're arguing those teams shouldn't play this week,
no one's arguing that.
What if he's not stable the following week? Then what do you do? Like, there's so much. Yeah.
Anyways, we have a football game here.
Yeah.
Happy New
Rams at Seahawks.
Happy New Year, Boofus. Welcome in. Boofus, join us tomorrow on YouTube, by the way, since you just came in. So Rams at Seahawks have a nice little divisional battle here. Scotty.
Divisional battles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you got to love them, right?
Obviously, whole week 18 is divisional battles.
Exactly.
Yeah. We talked about a little bit of why Seattle matters in the grand scheme of things with the Green Bay side of things. So a lot of the playoff implications have already been kind of discussed with that Seattle, but Seattle coming in here and hosting the Baker Mayfields here. The Chef Bakers here in this one. 6.5-point favorites for Seattle. And let's go Detroit Rams, says Chairman. 41.5 over under set here. Scotty, what do you like in this one?
I don't have a bet on this one. This is a weird thing. So if you look at the standings right now, the Seahawks are the 7th seed in the NFC, right? They're the last playoff team. But if they win next week and Green Bay wins, they're out. How weird is that?
Mm-hmm.
You're in the playoffs if they started today. You win your last game. and you could be out of the playoffs. It doesn't happen often. It's due to tiebreakers involving Detroit right now. The Seahawks win tiebreakers over like Detroit, and Detroit wins tiebreakers over Green Bay based off of when they played. Like, there's a lot of issues there, but like Green Bay's in if they win. Seattle has to win and needs a Green Bay loss in order to make the playoffs.
Roger.
They play early on their day, so the Seahawks are going to show up for this. They get their home crowd. I don't know how the Rams are going to perform in this, but the Seahawks have not been playing great football. Not to the point where they're just going to win by double digits against a team easily, regardless of how the team is playing. I don't know. I'd lean weirdly Rams plus 6.5 in this one. I think Rams plus 6.5. It's not one of my bets of the week, but that is where I would lean. I don't even know why I feel that way. I just do.
Actually bet that.
Yeah, I don't think you're far off. I think that this game I could see being, I mean, the way the Rams have been playing with Baker, the way that
Talk it out. I'm gonna do a code yellow real quick.
Code Yellow, spam it in the chat. The way that I feel like the Rams have been playing ball, I feel like there's a chance that Baker keeps this one close, and McVay puts together a game plan to. I mean, again, you can motivate to be spoiler, you could do what you want, but I think they're gonna make the Seahawks work for this one. So if I was betting this one, I don't have a best bet on this game. I'm not going to be putting I'm not going to put anything down on this one, but maybe it's like a live betting. I can bet some live betting on it. But outside of that, I mean, if I had a lean, it would probably be Rams plus 6.5. Not a strong feeling though. Again, 41.5 is the over under. So it's not going to be a super high scoring game, which lends itself more towards the Rams, with a little bit bigger of a number here. But I think Seattle has all the motivation in the world, which is why it's just tough to pick a side and feel good about it. So, yeah, I think this one's going to be interesting. But, I mean, Rec, what do you think?
I actually got the Rams plus 6.5 on this.
Okay.
This is going to be a tight divisional games. Geno Smith is finally coming down to earth. Baker had a rough game, but overall he's been solid with the Rams. I like LA in this situation.
Yeah,
it could be a little bit of a thank you for Stafford.
Yeah, I think I think that's where you should lean in this one. But what else do we have here in the chat? Sleeping Beauty. Do you think Sean McVay is going to retire after the season? No, I don't think so. I think he's locked in, and he's a competitor. He likes to compete, and he'll be back. I mean, there's a lot to kind of build up for the Rams, and I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he'll be back. But I know there's some reports out there, but I don't know. I don't know what that looks. I can't see. I mean, he's a young coach. I think he has a lot ahead of him. I think that there's a chance that he stays, and a pretty good chance at that. So
yeah, I saw that, chairman.
The thing that would make this better
for Detroit Rams. Sorry.
Detroit Ram meme this week. It's true. Yeah, I saw that on you posted that in our Discord, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Who? Sean McVay?
Yeah.
I've heard weird rumors. And the only reason he would leave is he has a studio job lined up, a gig that would pay him close. I mean, not as much as he's making, but plenty. Where maybe he's just not into it for a bit.
Yeah.
He'd probably come back, but he might take a break and take the studio job. It's like a retirement that's not a real retirement.
Kind of like Sean Payton.
Kind of like a Sean Payton.
Yeah, Sean Payton went out. He's doing some corresponding on some of the Fox Sports and everything else. And then now he's jumping back in the mix. So I think Sean McVay, maybe he does. I didn't I didn't know how big of a deal it was when it came to his video deal or his media deal. But
McVay was on. He's been on Fox Sports plenty and done it already, and he'd be paid nicely.
Yeah.
Not Tom Brady.
not Tom Brady
level.
money.
Obviously, he's making. What is Tom Brady's deal? Like, is it 20 million a year, or is that it's at minimum? At
It's
minimum,
insane. I don't know.
It's with Fox, right?
it is with
Yeah.
Fox. Yes.
See, his Fox deal would be 10 years for a total of $375 million, so 37.5 a year.
$37.5 million
It's
a
gross.
year. They're paying Tom Brady for a job he's never done before.
like,
While he's doing another job.
oh my goodness.
I mean, he's not making it yet, but once he retired, Tom Brady, just retire, man.
Just do it.
You get $37.5 million a year, and quite frankly, I hate to use this, but because he's in a divorce, like, he's more necessary to be available for his kids moving forward. I mean, my parents got divorced. I know what that's like. Like, I think if you can make 37, I know he wants to set history as far as yards and everything. He wants to be the greatest of all time. And as far as the Super Bowls, he probably will be for a long, long time, or maybe ever. But at some point, dude, like, you love your kids. Think of your kids. Be around for your kids. Get $37.5 million a year to have a studio job at Fox that allows you to spend time with your kids way more than you ever had during the season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There you go.
Just as a father,
Hey,
you know,
insights from a
Speaking
father.
as a
There you
dad.
go. Patriots and Bills. Obviously, Bills
An
unbettable game as well.
correct.
This is a weird one. I don't know how this one is going to even look. I mean, obviously, we talked about how this affects Cincinnati, but this is just that much more impactful for the team that it happened to with DeMar, and that's the Buffalo Bills. So Bills 7.5-point favorites. I don't even know how Vegas puts these lines together in situations like this. Like, it's so you can never account for
they
this.
Set a line, and I bet they're ready to adjust based off of how people bet it very quickly.
Yeah.
And they adjust the line accordingly.
With that being said,
I saw it up to 8 actually after 7.5 when I made this. It was 8 later on today.
yeah,
I don't know what it's at now, but
People are still betting Bills.
and Bills are the better team, and Bills issues with. I mean, you don't have Von Miller. Obviously, has been gone for a little bit.
hot take that the Bills are better than the Patriots. Hot take, Chris.
Bills are better than Pats. Scotty, can you think of a young quarterback in the league that might have a chance to catch him in Super Bowl wins?
Don't ask. I feel like
He's
Chairman's just like
teeing you up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. There's only one quarterback in the league that can even dream of approaching Brady Super Bowl status, and I won't mention that, dude. I'm not gonna do it.
No,
I'm not gonna fall for that, Chairman. And know what you're doing.
Yeah, he's teeing you up. Patriots though in this one, obviously, Patriots, and Bills.
I mean, Patriots have everything to play for.
They both have. I mean, and then
Patriots win and they're in.
Yeah, it's a big game for Bill Belichick. It's a big game for them. I think this is, for me, man. I want to say that the Bills come out of this one and they play literally everything for DeMar, which is, I mean, that motivation is just absolutely going to be through the roof for them, which is a bad time for the Patriots to be rolling into Buffalo with that crowd. That, I mean, doing this for DeMar, I don't know if this is the best spot for the Patriots, but again, it's such a strange game.
I somewhat disagree with you.
Do you?
In the sense, I think this is the best spot for the Patriots. Because we don't know how the Patriots are going to react to last week. Like, we have no clue. I mean, the emotional baggage and everything that comes with that, and trying to focus on a football game, knowing you're going to be in the playoffs, like, maybe this is seeding or whatever, but it's not the be all end all. I don't know if the Bills are so focused on this week, which is great for the Patriots in that aspect. I want the Bills to win this game because I think the Bills, in any other instance, would win this game against the Patriots. But I think this is, due to the circumstances, I think the Patriots are in a good spot. I would lean Patriots plus 7.5 or now 8. I'd take 8. Just because there's so much unknown with how the Bills will react.
You're on DraftKings?
Not right now, no. What is it on DraftKings?
On FanDuel, it's 7.
I saw it after I made this graphic. I saw it today at 8, but that was probably
interesting
7 hours ago.
At least it's down to 7 here, so maybe the money's kind of shifting back and forth. I mean, again,
I just think, listen, and a lot of coaches and teams might take it easy, but the Patriots are playing for their playoff lives, and Bill Belichick, I'm not saying he doesn't give fucks, but he doesn't show that he gives fucks, right? Like, I think he does, but he's going to be laser focused, and he's going to be one tracked on let's beat the Bills, and he's going to have a mentality of don't feel sorry for this team, right? Like, there's no way he's going to build up a mentality like, oh, let's feel sorry for the Bills. I didn't bet it. I wouldn't bet it, but I'd lean Patriots because Bill Belichick's playing for their playoff lives, and the Bills are kind of in like a emotional limbo of like, it's really, really hard to rebound from what happened Monday night.
I mean, again, you're going to get one of two sides here. You're going to either get a super motivated team and a motivated city to play literally lights out, or you're going to get, kind of what you're saying. So, which makes this more of a reason why neither of us are on this matchup. And
Mackey said Josh Allen could definitely catch Brady.
And then Kenny Two Gloves.
Define definitely. And then, of course, Rec wants to get banned. Kenny Two Gloves. I mean, I have to already watch this stupid tweeter, like Filipponi or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, I tell you every week.
I know. But it makes me hate your team more. I don't follow him, Rec. I do not follow him. But somehow he shows up in my Twitter feed. I don't follow the guy, I promise you. But he will literally make any argument that makes Kenny Pickett the greatest quarterback to ever grace the planet, and it's wild.
Biggs, welcome in. Bet MGM pulled the bet. Interesting. I have it here on,
like, after they let it out, because it wasn't out there yesterday. You couldn't bet on the Bills or Bengals game yesterday, and they released lines. Is it pulled now? I haven't looked.
No.
I don't remember.
Hey, Fireball. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Hey, have a good night. Appreciate that. All you guys coming over from Fireball, thank you for being a part of the Action Lab. My name is Chris. This is Scott. We are your hosts, and we will be back here live. For all you guys who are new, again, we keep reminding you, I put the socials in the chat, but we will be live on Sunday in YouTube. Tomorrow I'll be on YouTube for the NBA special, and then on Sunday night we will be in YouTube for the Sunday Night Football and Sunday Night Football bingo. So make sure you join us on YouTube. We will not be live on Twitch. So there you go.
Chairman, real quick. Chairman said Kenny Pickett made a big boy throw at the end of that Steelers game. I was impressed. Until you realize he was throwing to a different guy. Rack, don't get too upset.
Big boy throws.
He was throwing to a different guy. He wasn't even throwing a Najee. Do you think he was throwing a Najee, Rack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But you've seen the replay where it could be stipulated that maybe he was throwing the wide receiver behind Najee, right?
Well, like if both receivers are in that same area, then that's a communication failure.
No, this was a broke down play. It's not a communication failure at that point. That was a broke down play.
Yeah, you're right.
But Kenny Pickett was throwing to the wide receiver in the corner of the end zone, and then Najee Harris showed up and caught the ball. I will go to my grave with that.
I got some things I'll go to my grave too. But...
And that doesn't mean I hate Kenny Pickett. That just means
Pony.
That just means he's getting the benefit of the doubt on a throw he didn't even know was going to occur.
I'm saying he did have a couple of big boy throws before that too. The one to Steven Sims right before that.
Hold firm, Rex.
Wait, two of my bets are anti Steelers. I think this week, sort of.
Oh no.
But
sort of.
So one of them is the Dolphins winning.
No, it's
the other one's the Patriots.
Literally the Steelers game. We'll get to it.
Durandum, hold firm, Rec. Hold firm. Sleeping Beauty, do you think Pats ever trade Bill Belichick to another team to be their coach? That was reported a couple weeks ago. I don't know. I mean, Bill Belichick's probably going to retire, I think.
At this point, I wouldn't hate the move for the Patriots to trade him and get some. If you can get like a first and a second for Bill Belichick, and quite frankly, the Patriots aren't close to competing for like a Super Bowl, do it. He's old. He's very old.
He's
and I don't want to be insensitive, but old people can't hold up.
Old people. Yeah. And realistically, he's going to be looking up at a lot of these teams in the division, and he's not getting any younger. And I don't know. I just don't see.
I don't think Belichick would. And I don't know how a trade works in that sense, but I think Belichick will retire as a Patriots coach. He'll just, if they're trying to get rid of him, he'll hang it up. As he should.
Yeah.
Don't go to another team and just live out that legacy, man. I don't even think Belichick likes people, so you're out of the limelight. That should be a good thing. Belichick does not like people. I can say that with certainty.
He doesn't like people.
Exactly.
He doesn't
Belichick hates people.
There's a lot of things he doesn't like.
And he's one of the greatest coaches ever, which is, we can argue the mentality and state of like what makes a great coach in the off season. That'd be interesting, Chris. Let's do that.
Yeah. Week 18 coming up here. By the way, so bet 365 saying that now is Bills -7. That's what I have on FanDuel Sportsbook. Is kind of where it's kind of stuck right now. So we'll keep an eye on that spread moving up and down for that one. Also, Giants at Eagles. Eagles 14-point favorites here, and they are at home against the Giants team. Over under 43 is what we're looking at for this game. Kind of a lower over under for a game that's 14 points difference when it comes to this betting trend. Scotty, you look like you're
trying to do the math on like what they're saying. That's like
21-7.
No, 28-14 gets you to 42.
28-14. Okay. All right, so you got
that gets you to 42. So they're basically, I mean, that's the 14-point spread. So they're basically saying it's a 28-14 game here.
Yeah, something around that range. But I have this as one of my best bets of the week. But Scotty, I'll let you go ahead and throw out what you like in this one, and I'll tell you.
We have.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we both have it. I forget you have it.
We're on the same side here.
Yep, we're on the same side.
Same side as Scotty. Ill.
I know. But by the way, when we're both on the same side this year,
hey, I have a better record. I'm 42 and whatever. I'm great this year. Wreck.
We're both crushing, by the way, and honestly, every single time we've only missed out. Every time we've bet together, we've only lost 2, I think, all season long.
I love this game, Chris. I'm actually going to bet the first half and then the final as well.
All right.
And I'm all on the Giants.
I am as well.
Are you going to do the, what is it, the double outcome?
With
result?
my bet? Yeah. Yeah.
You do a double result bet? Wow.
And it's 9.5 for the first half, plus 9.5 for the Giants. I like that bet more than the 14 for the whole game, quite frankly, because maybe if they're playing well in the first half, they set people. Listen, the reason this spread is 14 is the Giants have literally nothing to play for.
They're already locked up.
As far as playoff position, they are locked into their seed. They cannot move, win, loss. So most minds are like, oh, the Giants aren't going to play hard here. Their first-year head coach, Brian DeBall, has said press conference, my starters are playing. We're going to play. We're in momentum. This is what we do. And sometimes I don't believe the coach. I believe the coach 100%. I think the starters are going to play for the Giants at least a half, if not a whole game. The Eagles are still going to be without their starting quarterback, and the Eagles have a ton to play for. Win, and they're in the number 1 seed in a bye. So this is huge stakes for the Eagles. They're not going to not care about this game. Huge stakes for them. Win, get a first round bye. Lose, you could potentially be the 5 seed. Drop drastically. So huge for the Eagles to win here, but a 14-point spread against a Giants team that I think the Giants are bitter. The Eagles have screwed them over late in the season's other years. I think they hate. This is a division rivalry. Sorry, that means something. I think the Giants hate him. I think the ball has an absolute attitude of fuck them. We're gonna try and screw them over. Yep. We're gonna play our hearts out, even though we don't need to this week. Let's keep momentum going. I really, really think they do that. I mean, if the Giants play their starters, Giants plus 14 is the bet of the century.
Well, and here's my take on it too. We both agree. I'm on the same side. If Tyrod Taylor's under center, the Giants may still have the better quarterback in this matchup after Gardner Minshew's performance last week. Tyrod Taylor is still not a bad option, given if they rest all of the starters, which if they have that option, right? So even if that happens, still, I like this to go that direction. The alternative is to start a not close to healthy Jalen Hurts. He's not even close to being healthy. Without star right tackle Lane Johnson to protect him, which doesn't seem conducive to covering this massive line, right? You mentioned DeBoll is going to make this Eagles work. I think they're going to make him work for this last game in this one. Honestly, there's some trends with this too. I think the last 4 teams with winning records that were double-digit underdogs in the final week of the regular season covered. Which, these teams are playing still. I mean, it's not just a throwaway game. Not for the Giants, not for this gritty team. I don't know. I just think this is going to be a lot closer than what people expect. Giants plus 14 feels really, really good here. I'm with you.
I'd like even more so Giants plus 9.5 first half. I love that.
Yep.
Love that.
And guys, that's also something you guys can do too if you guys like betting. Throw out your bets. We can.
I'm putting a lot of money on that.
Hey, I'll ride you. I'll ride you on that one because honestly, we're both feeling the same vibes coming out of this game. Either way, we're both on Giants here in this one with a low over/under total and just getting too many points. Too many in this one. All right, next up, Jets and Dolphins in this one. Jets and Dolphins. This is going to be another one. That's going to be an interesting matchup as well. The Jets eliminated already, but Miami still in the hunt. Still trying to figure out what's going to happen with them. But this one is going to be Jets right now. Well, it's weird because Jets was at one point were favored, and I think there's the line went up and down, but now it's back into Jets -1, I believe. And then Dolphins getting one, obviously. 38.5, low over/under total in this one. Scotty, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins are rocking potentially with their third-string rookie, Skylar Thompson. Without, obviously, Tua's not playing, and Bridgewater dislocated his pinky, I believe, or something like that, where he's probably not playing because he's soft. So you're looking at a third-string quarterback against a Jets team that's playing a third-string quarterback because that's all they have in Mike White.
Yep.
I would lean Dolphins. I mean, the Jets don't have anything to play for. Dolphins are in the playoffs with a win and a Patriots loss against the Bills. So in their mentality, they're like, the Patriots could easily lose to the Bills because the Bills are great, right? So why not ball out here? Yes, it's a rookie quarterback with Skylar Thompson, and maybe they know like they're not getting back Tua for the playoffs, and that might be a lack of motivation to like move on to the playoffs. I don't know. I haven't touched this game. But if I did, I would certainly lean Dolphins. I don't even understand the spread fully, quite frankly. It's weird to me.
Well, this is a weird one for me too, which is why it's one of my bets of the week. And I have Miami +1. At one point it was a pick'em. And then now it's Miami.
Dolphins were favored at one point, actually.
So yeah, I mean, this one's all over the place. This is a quarterback apocalypse, by the way. Exactly. This is absolutely a quarterback apocalypse where you're looking at these teams, you're like, I don't even know these are real quarterbacks on real rosters. Man
generated.
Sure, yeah, and the Dolphins have this is their wild card chances. They have a lot of motivation. They have a lot of things to play for here. Jets are in an equal free fall. I mean, no reason to care about this. An even worse quarterback situation, unless Mike Glennon was signed, I think, by the Dolphins, I think, randomly at some point.
That's pretty noteworthy.
And that's even worse situation. So that's not even like that's how bad this matchup is with quarterbacks. But the key here, I think, is going to be Miami's defense, which has been leaps and bounds better at home. They've played really, really well at home. And I think that'll be a big factor here. I mean, even if you get Tyreek a long touchdown pull or something that's going to, you have a lot of weapons. So you might luck into throwing, maybe a nice touchdown here. I don't know.
The Jets just have such a better defense than the Dolphins.
It is true. Jets defense is a little bit more stout, but the
Jets are ready to go next year if they can find someone to throw a ball.
Yeah. Just throw it. So for that reason, I do think Miami, with the motivation and with, the weapons that they have to luck into a couple scores here and make it, a nice defensive battle. I mean, you're looking at the over/under in this total, 38.5. That's a low over/under total. So I think that this is just going to be one of those hard-fought, grindy kind of games, but I think Dolphins end up coming out on top in this one. But we're at 64 with David Blow starting this week, says Rec. I could be wrong, but I think 64 tied the previous record. Yeah.
What was that referring to?
It's referring to Chairman saying that we could break the single season record for most different starting QBs in the season.
Oh,
Got it.
We're at 64 starting QBs this season with David Blau, so that's an oops.
I mean, it makes sense now that we're in the second year of an extra week. And quite frankly, we're in a generation where they protect quarterbacks a little more, especially concussion wise, than they did before.
And
that makes sense.
By the way, you're getting value here. I don't know if it's still plus 100. Miami plus 100, getting some value on Miami if they just win straight up. I mean, I don't hate that value.
This is basically a straight up bet.
Yeah. I mean, but still, if you feel good about Miami,
unless you think they're going to tie, Chris, then plus 100 is the same.
Can you imagine some ties with all the playoff implications and everything else and having to factor in, even more of that stuff? That'd be fun.
Everyone tie this week. Let's do it.
Let's do everyone tie. Let's have a breaker record for most ties in 1 week. Titans at Jags. Scotty, here's
big one.
This is a big one here.
Big one.
Titans at Jags. Not one of my bets of the week. I don't have much going on this one, and neither do you. But Jaguars favored in this one by 6.5 at home against a Titans team that's kind of packing it in at this point. AFC South shenanigans. We've talked a lot about the Titans and they just haven't lived up to the expectations, and just Jacksonville's been kind of a streaky team, but they're favored at home 6.5. 40 points is the over under here. Scotty, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a team that's on the rise in the Jags and a team on the decline with the Titans. But I was really close to taking, I sent you 5 picks, Chris, by mistake. And one of them, the last one that I left off, was Titans plus 6.5. Love the Jags, love what they're doing. I think they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs, quite frankly. But the Titans aren't a great situation. The Titans played a Thursday ago, really didn't play a lot of their guys. So a lot of guys rested, ready to go. They're going with Dobbs, the quarterback that played last week for the first time, but quite frankly, played better. The reason I stayed away from this, when the Jaguars win, they win by a lot for some reason. They dominate, but the Jags haven't been in this situation. The Titans have. Great coaching on both sides. It's really, really difficult, and that's why I stayed away from this, because I can make arguments for both sides in this one. Titans and Jags. I would lean Titans plus 6.5. Titans have to win to get in. The Jags theoretically could lose and still make it, but it would require a lot of losses with some other teams. And this is for the AFC South title, Chris. I think the Jags win. I think the Titans cover.
Okay. I mean, honestly, in this one, if I had to lean in one way or another, I actually would lean under the total. I would go the over-under route. This game, again, you mentioned a big game for both teams. This is the same total basically as last week's Titans-Cowboys game, in which 40 points were scored. And that's the third straight under game in 11, and 11th in the last 16 Tennessee games. So they like going under. The bottom line is the Titans have lost games because they just can't score. So I think from that standpoint, the under looks a little bit more attractive. I didn't necessarily feel as good, but if I had a lean,
Chris, some sort of bet. I'll take the over on 40.
You'll take the over on 40?
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe we do. All right, so we have 2 bets that we're looking at going head to head on. So, all right, well, keep track of those, Rec, and we'll put together. Maybe we'll post it in our Discord what we decide to bet heads up on a couple of these.
The other was Chiefs 9.5, right?
Chiefs 9.5, minus 9.5 for Scotty.
And over under 40 here.
But Tennessee defense, I think, will play. I don't know. I think they'll play well. I just don't think they can score points, and I think that that's what helps this stay under. But it wasn't one of my bets of the week because of the reason that Jacksonville could put up a shit ton of points randomly, like you said. But I don't know. I don't know how Tennessee puts up a ton here. But I think this kind of profiles to me is like a, I don't know, 30. I don't know. I think it's like a 37, 30, somewhere in there. But that's where we're at here. Next up, that's it. Actually, that's it. Those are all the. You said you had some thoughts on Steelers though, Scotty.
I had Steelers in this.
Did you? Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Give me a sec. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything.
I don't think you did.
No, I had 8 profiles and 1 was the Steelers.
All right, give me a second. Let me pull it up. I'll let you start talking about the Steelers, and let me see if I can pull up the graphic. Because
I'm.
No, it might.
Hold on.
It might be me. Hold on. Production value, everybody.
Steelers are playing this week. Surprise, guys. They're against the Browns. And I have the Browns in a teaser, actually, Chris. I teased the Browns up to 9. Now it's at 2.5 to the Pittsburgh. So I got them I got the Browns at +3 up to 9. And I feel great about 9. This is a big game for the Steelers. The Browns don't necessarily have anything to play for outside of like, hey, let's figure out if your quarterback is able to do anything ever. And I'm not sure he can. I just think this is going to be a super low scoring game. Like Steelers thrive recently in coming back in the fourth quarter and making things happen, but they don't score points in the first 3. Sorry, Rec, they don't. They're great at coming back, and yeah, they have a potential spot at a playoff spot here if the AFC falls the way they need to, which is basically a Miami loss and New England loss. If Miami and New England loses and Pittsburgh wins, they get in. So they're going to play hard. There's no doubt about it. I don't trust Pittsburgh's offense to put up a ton of points. For every play that I've seen, and maybe I'm just upset because I get this Filipponi or whatever his name is highlights. But for every highlight he shows, I'm like, what happened the first 3 quarters when you guys didn't score at all? I don't think Pittsburgh's there yet. That's not to say Kenny Pickett can't be a good quarterback, but we're not there yet.
So yeah, I didn't see that graphic in there. We have 8 games that we showcased. Didn't see the Pittsburgh one unless you made 9.
Oh, that's awkward. I thought I included Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Wait,
talk about Pitt real quick.
Talk about Pittsburgh. What Devil Talk, by the way, we win low scoring games. It's what we do. We win dirty, hard-nosed games. It's AFC North football.
Exactly. That's why I have Cleveland +9.
Yeah.
You might win the game, but you're not going to win by 10+.
Yeah. I'd say the last 2 games, we won exactly how we would win every game in 2017 and 2018. We started off looking like shit. We have no clue what we're doing. Then suddenly in the 3rd or 4th quarter, we remember that we have talent and suddenly decide to show it off.
See, it's grindy games. I mean, the AFC North, I'm honestly like, any kind of matchup there late in the season.
Rec, are you admitting that your head coach is great in Mike Tomlin?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
It's a hot take.
You're borderline Ohio State fans and calling that he's not a good coach. You can want to move on from him. To not call him a good coach is insane. Your talent is way less than you think it is.
It's not even that. It's that in a way, yes, but essentially TJ is the team. Y'all like hot takes? Here's a hot take.
Ooh, here we go.
TJ Watt means more to the Steelers than anybody, including Mike Tomlin.
I
Do we
mean,
want to
Until he doesn't.
like we want to talk about the MVP. Most quarterbacks don't mean as much to the team as TJ does to the Steelers. We like talking about wins and losses. Look at the wins and losses with and without TJ, and also watch how the whole team performs with and without him.
I will say he has an impact on the game. I mean, he can definitely he can move a line on a game.
I would not. I would say TJ is more important than any other player in your roster, which is easy.
What?
And more important than Tomlin as well. But that doesn't discredit what Tomlin has done. I mean, Tomlin's done incredible things, and I feel like Steelers fans are a little blinded by it because it doesn't look pretty. It's not attractive, and yes, maybe you might not win a game in the playoffs, but the fact that I'm going to be honest, Rec, your team has no business in the playoffs. Just like they didn't last year. I mean, last year Pittsburgh had no business being in the playoffs, but your head coach kind of got you there.
Coaching matters. Take it from a Denver fan.
Yeah, I called it at the bye week. It said we're getting TJ back, we're getting Casey, we're getting healthy, and we have an easy schedule. We're going to start winning games, and everyone's going to forget about our lack of talent and lack of coaching.
It's not lack of coach. How do you say it's lack of coaching though?
Scheming.
How is it lack of coaching? I know Matt Canada sucks. I know your offense coordinator sucks. Yeah. But outside of that,
like Tomlin essentially runs the defense, and scheming there sucks. Like, I know you want to build your defense around your best defensive player. It's like everything goes through TJ, and if he's not performing like peak TJ, then nothing's really working. The entire scheme is built for one player.
So when your head coach won a Super Bowl without TJ Watt, how do you explain that?
Here's my thing. I've said this multiple times. Mike Tomlin used to be an elite coach. He used to be amazing. He deserves to spot in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He's just like players, coaches have an expiration date. It's unfortunately past his.
So what has changed? I need you to define. So you had a great coach. No, his game management, it can't be the reason.
I feel like he's still X's and O's. I think
the game management can't drastically change. Like, that can't be the reason.
It wasn't drastically, like it was slowly over time. Like there was like one thing would happen, then another thing would happen. It's, of course, all coaches make mistakes.
So
I'm not faulting Tomlin for making mistakes. Because he makes the same ones over and over again.
I'm not saying you're wrong. But when every other fan of the league thinks your team firing Tomlin is insane, maybe you're too tied to it.
Like here's my problem. Everyone brings up oh, he's never had a losing season. He wins so many games.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but here's my thing. What does he do to win the games? How does he contribute?
Oh, he's contributing. You think your team's been that talented? It's not. I promise you, it's not that talented.
Honestly, I'm saying that. And look at this team with and without TJ. TJ can single-handedly win regular season games.
So when he made the playoffs last year with a garbage team,
again, TJ.
What?
Is it like TJ can win?
Yeah, TJ. That's the only reason he made the playoffs last year. Was TJ. Again, and the fact that he missed TJ for 7 weeks this year, or whatever it was.
He won a single game while he was gone. He comes back and we magically start winning.
Do you really think a defensive end has that much leverage on games won and lost?
if you watch this, I know, I know you don't really watch them regularly because they're kind of a boring team. But
Very boring.
if you watch them, if you watch the Steelers week in and week out, with and without, the team is just that much It's just so different.
How many wins do you think TJ Watt equals for your team?
I think, this season, out of the 7 games he's missed, we probably win. Instead of winning 1, we probably win 3 or 4. And if TJ wasn't here, if TJ Watt missed the entire season somehow, we're probably a 4 or 5 win team.
I mean, TJ Watt does have an impact, and he does change the course of games. I get it, but I think that there's a lack of recognition when it comes to what Tomlin has done for that franchise over the course of his tenure there. I mean, coming from a franchise who has struggled with coaches in Denver, I mean, I would take Tomlin in a heartbeat in Denver instantly.
Is Tomlin the worst coach in the league? Is he some horrible thing that nobody should ever pine for? Hell no. There's still guys that take Tomlin over. I don't think we should be stuck in mediocrity. We need to try to strive to get better, not just stay stuck in this standard.
Your mediocrity is not related to your coach.
So
your mediocrity is related to your roster.
Let me go ahead and bring this up.
Real quick, I want to get to quick. Sleeping Beauty. We'll get to the Colts. She was wanting to know about the Colts and Texans. We'll get to that here in a second.
Tank Bowl.
She's like, I know it's not going to be. It's one of the worst games of the week, but I want to know what you guys have to say. So we'll get to that in a second.
Not sure what to say about that one. But
yeah,
I'll figure it out.
I'll go ahead and say on this, with and without. Look how the narratives changed once TJ came back. Without it's Cameron Hayward's done. Cameron Hayward's done. He shouldn't have signed that extension. The Steelers are screwed. With him, all of a sudden, those narratives go away. I mean, Sutton, it's we gotta let him walk in free agency. Now he looks like a great prize in free agency. He plays corner. Alex Highsmith, he was solid again. People saw him as solid getting to the rusher. Now, this year, people are considering him top 5. Just this year. And also, he should have been, he was snubbed. He should have been in the Pro Bowl over TJ.
Well,
all these different narratives change the moment he walks onto the field.
What I see is the Steelers are 5-1 in their last 6. And they haven't put more than 24 points on the board offensively in any of those games.
You could also look at the teams we played.
Bad.
Exactly.
You mean bad?
Exactly.
I was arguing for you in that instance, but yeah, you didn't put 24 or more points against the Colts, Falcons, Ravens, Panthers, Raiders, and Ravens again. It's not great. You won a game by 3, 8, lost by 2, won by 3, won by 7, lost by 7, and won by 10. This is a team that cannot put up a ton of points, which is why I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down on, I got the Panthers +9, which, I mean, I don't even know if the Steelers have won by 9 this year in any game. Actually, while I look,
I don't think
beat the Saints. No, they beat the Saints 20-10.
Oh, that's right. The Saints had 2 good drives, and that was it.
Yeah. So I have the that in a teaser, and then I have the under 40 in the Pittsburgh game this weekend.
I'm not gonna lie, because I made a massive five-legged parlay. I have Cleveland and Pittsburgh under 40 as well as a part of that.
Cool.
Yeah,
there you go.
Because the Steelers haven't been in a game where more than 40 points have been put up since. You guys wait to put up points in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I've seen this movie before. I saw it all through 2017, all through 2018.
By the way, Cuban Benny, if TJ and Cooper were on the same team, they would win for the decade. They would win every game.
Exactly.
It's true. There you go. Devil Doc, obviously, defending his Steelers too.
Responding to Mackey saying you need a QB. And to be fair, Pittsburgh drafted the only QB in the first round last year. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, yeah, no. He was just mentioning that literally have a Pickett from, week 5 to now, literally growing every week. In the last 2 weeks has grown so much. Back-to-back game-winning drives against the Raiders and the elite Ravens defense.
Yeah.
I would...
Pick.
How do I say that this based off of what I've seen? I think based off of what I've seen, Kenny Pickett has great moments. Great moments. And
not enough great moments.
Not enough. And
I got you. Like I'd say right now.
Is he a franchise quarterback moving forward? To me, no. No.
But as of now, he's the 20th best quarterback in the NFL. That's not saying anything, but 20.
That's fair.
I mean, for a young kid, I mean, there's room for growth, and obviously he is growing and learning a lot on the fly. So,
well, when I say 20th, it's based off potential, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like at this moment, he is the 20th best quarterback. Like 12 teams, their best quarterbacks are worse than Pickett.
Based off this moment, I'd place him slightly further back, maybe like 23, 24. But
also,
sure.
if we can finally stop being cheap about a coaching staff, Pickett could reach a higher ceiling if we go get Frank Reich this offseason.
All right, last thing on this Double Doc.
What has Frank Reich done?
He was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles when he helped to make Nick Foles a Super Bowl champion.
That's true.
Last thing on this Devil Doc. 8 interceptions first 5 games since. And then hold on, I'm cut off here.
8 interceptions first 5 games. Since then, 6 TDs to 1 INT.
Yep. So growth.
The problem was the TD number.
Yeah.
How many games was that through?
So they. I don't know why the Steelers are always pop up as getting us derailed, but hey, it's good conversation. I love it to keep things rolling here. But I want to get to the quick Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts. I know it's like the worst game of the week, but I know anytime we tell you guys, if you guys want to talk about a game that we don't cover, let us know so we can cover it real quick. And we're going to do that real quick.
Tank Bowl.
So Texans 2-13 against the 4-11 Indianapolis Colts. Lot of implications here, Scotty. Lot. And by a lot, I mean
so many.
Lovie Smith, going for that number 1 pick.
Yeah, that's why I would lean Colts. I know the Colts hate themselves and they don't want to win this game. But I think the Texans want to ensure themselves the number 1 pick, which they would with a loss. With a win, I think the Bears are in play, maybe. So I would lean, and I don't want to bet on this game because I don't want to watch this game.
No one wants to watch the game.
I would lean Colts because I can't lean Texans after the performance last week where they literally 2 weeks ago they won and then they were like, no, we can't win again. We've been instructed. Like, we need the number 1 pick so we can take Bryce Young from Alabama. By the way, if you haven't bet it and you can find a site, which you can, to bet Bryce Young is the number 1 pick, bet it. Bet it. Bet it now.
Which sport has 4 letters and starts with T? Golf.
P3 coming in with the biddies. Thank you, P3, for the bits. Guys, thank you so much. Here are our picks of the week. As mentioned, I have Las Vegas plus 9.5, New York Giants plus 14, Miami plus 1, and Detroit plus 4.5. Chad from Virginia, thank you for coming in, Chad. Appreciate you giving us a follow.
Let's go.
Who are your teams? Like to get to know you a little bit. Obviously, we know where you're from, so there you go. Pretty straightforward. Thank you for being here. Another P3 joke?
There's a new game started at my local sports club. It's called Silent Tennis. Apparently, it's like regular tennis but without the racket.
Oh, yeah. Take out that racket.
That racket.
Get that. Turn off that racket. Thank
I get
you.
a lot of racket at my house right now, and I would turn it off if I could.
P3, thank you again. Bryce Young should be the #1 overall, but the Texans would screw that up.
No, they won't, and they'll take Bryce Young.
It's gonna be. I'm actually trying to look at the NFL and see what they have as far as like. Let me see. I'm looking at the draft NFL draft here. Bryce Young is -115 on FanDuel as the #1 overall pick.
Bet.
So I wouldn't bet just yet because
No, I would.
there's a chance the Bears get that first overall pick.
That's true. That would change things, but I think the Texans know they can't win this game.
As a Steelers fan, I'm hoping that the Bears take the first overall pick.
Oof, that would be.
That second round, it gets higher.
That would get spicy.
I still think in that scenario that if you can bet Bryce Young is the #1 overall pick, it would still happen. It wouldn't be with the Bears, but
Yeah.
they would trade out of it.
Yeah, but would they give up a chance to get Will Anderson? Like that has to be a massive.
No, but they can
massive
move from
payday.
like 1. They can move from 1 to 3.
Let me go and check the draft tracker while we're on the topic.